in the future after the coronavirus epidemic of 2020. I hope that your overlords are treating you well. This is the Gran Turisbros live podcast where we'll have a big assortment of some huge guests with us tonight. We're going to have Deafsun, Windfire, Roadbeef, Outlaw, and many, many more. You never know who might pop into this particular stream. Let's face it, we're all bored, and we all love to dish on the rumor mill and all the crazy drama that's going on with Gran Turismo right now. So, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go in and take a moment to invite some of the guys into the party chat. Hey, John, what's going on, bro? Welcome to the show. I think so. So, I'm going to introduce you to the crazy crowd that's going to be listening to this, maybe now, maybe in the future. This is Jonathan, and he is DJ, also known as PHX DJ. And yeah. Yeah, Outlaw Quadrant. Go ahead. Everyone knows him, he doesn't matter. Yeah, what's up, Defy? I just can't. I'm trying to figure out Darkrai. I don't know if I have Darkrai or Cooper on my list. What's his name again? Oh yeah, do that, please, please. We are live. Yeah, yeah. It's a nice, it's a
Yes.
loose podcast, live stream kind of thing. So no worries, no need for rehearsals or anything like that.
Oh no, I just had to switch
Perfect.
to had to go into the settings to this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone, make sure that your settings are set to allow. If you go to the party screen and then you go down to um, party settings. Then you go down to allow your voice to be shared. Make sure that is set to always allow or allow for this party. Sweet. Sweet. So now I can start pumping out the promotion for it. And y'all can talk amongst yourselves.
At this point, I basically have it eternally on the always allow option.
Nice.
Really?
So I'm
You're not
alright.
shy.
Yeah, even with
Ah.
whenever, what's it called? With Lloyd streams, anyone, I just kind of leave it on at this point.
Ah.
Ethan was the only one who sometimes I'd be like, oh shit, he's streaming. Okay, I gotta I gotta turn it on or off depending on what we're doing.
So before we get
But
too
usually leave
too
it on.
much further, I'd like to make sure anyone who's listening to the audio only of this in the future can figure out who's who. So you just heard Deafsun there speaking. So Deafsun, say hello,
Hello.
and Outlaw, say hello. Outlaw Quadrant.
Oh hi.
We will also refer to him as Rich sometimes, and then we also have DJ or John.
Yeah, whichever is easier. Hello, guys.
And then we will have Windfire in here soon. Oh, you are in here. Okay, cool. Nice, nice, nice. Super glad to have you.
Yes.
That's it.
Sneaking in.
Definitely got plenty of topics to discuss. As we have FIA starting up, the whole 40-round season, and coronavirus spreading around. We got esports becoming the only sport, it seems.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. It's crazy. It could turn things around for. I mean, everything in life is always, it's yin and yang. There's a good side, there's a bad side, and there's like a whole new surging economy while others are failing. There's the stay-at-home economy, is what people are calling it. Like mobile games are like they're hitting numbers they never imagined in their life. They're like 400, 500% higher than they've ever had in their history, and there's a lot more people watching Netflix and all that.
Not to mention, even CO2 emissions. I just even scrolled past the thing earlier. It was one of the things in the back of my head.
Oh,
I didn't immediately think about it, but just I talked to my mom earlier. She was saying she just went to work, and a trip that's normally over an hour took her 15 minutes. It's basically described as a ghost town, just so much less traffic and stuff like that. So I guess that you could call that a positive too.
Definitely.
There you go. We're saving the planet.
We're giving the Earth a break. Less cars.
Perfect.
Well, we're giving Earth a break by driving virtual cars because we can obviously drive real ones if we really wanted to.
If we wanted to spend a bit more money.
Exactly. Sure. Kind of stack.
Don't know if anyone noticed during this Nations Cup round, but GT Sport let us down a lot. Not with the penalty system, but with their suit design. Everyone's suits were not shown, and we just got the baseline, just USA or Canada suits. So none of us see our special custom-made suits. It's like we work so hard to make them, and then we don't even get them shown.
That was one of the most entertaining races to watch, though. Just from a standpoint of someone who wasn't even in it, that was pretty. I think brutal was the right word. I mean,
it was fun. What are you talking about?
It was fun, but it was fun in a brutal way. I'm okay, he's I'm waiting for the penalty, and I know someone's gonna get pissed off, and it just kind of popped up. But I could hear you're not used to seeing the carts on the grid. So when we were on the call earlier, you see Lamb on pole wiggling his arms and that goddamn default cart, default suit character just with his wheel. And I swear to God, I've never laughed more. And you couldn't talk because it was so hilarious to behold. So even though it may not be the most serious start to the season, I definitely think it's a good way to start. I mean, I'm kind of glad I wasn't a part of it still, but I'm still glad to witness it.
Yeah, you say that because you weren't part of it, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't have touched that race with a 10-foot pole myself, but I'm really glad that it was...
I wasn't playing until an hour before the race.
Now you know what it's like to be a spectator for the Rapid Charge races at the World Tours. It's just nice to lean back and enjoy.
Some would argue that should replace the X2019 for the finals car too. Just the fact. But maybe that's stretching it a bit, but
only a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely have experimented with that before, by using the F1500, at Le Mans, Tokyo, I believe.
Yes.
Cooper said I didn't invite him yet. Hold on. I'm gonna send a suggestion, and let me know if you get it.
Oh, by the way, I didn't. It's funny because I don't think I've watched one single Nations race today, even though it started. So
me either. Yeah,
were the points any good though?
No, they're all terrible.
It was.
What was the highest one?
I got
297.
Yeah. So just to put it out there, see, this is the thing with Nations is that it's just like last season when you get combos like karts or road cars that everyone hates to drive. I mean, you can do the combo, and it's pretty much a freebie because over the scope of the 400 races, that round is not going to count, even if you get the highest score that day. You said 290 something. That's tragic when usually a really good day would be 340 plus.
Exactly.
320 was the highest last season, so.
But it's still a big difference. I mean, 20 points.
It's very much a placeholder. You get the impression that, like, if you do keep it, it'll just be one of those scores to, like, anchor it a little bit. Chances are it'll probably get replaced.
When you look at the top scores, like in like the top 5 positions, it's like getting those 290s versus the 300 will depend whether you're like 5th or 3rd or whatever, and just those extra points really make the difference. So these low point races for the win.
I'm just talking from the perspective of the fact that there are so few spots available per region to qualify compared to last year, that I really don't think. I mean, it might have mattered more last year because you're qualifying. I think for our regions, like, what was it, 3 to 5 people? I forget how many.
It was 3 for World Tours, 5 for World Finals.
Yeah, that's right. And I think now it's just 3 all the way through. I think they scrapped 3, so basically the World Final now will just have
24.
24. Yeah, 24. Yeah. With 12 manufacturers, which I wish it was 16 still. We were just talking about that, just like the first time, because then some of those kind of fringe manufacturers would have a little more peace of mind. And I kind of enjoyed watching and like being part of the 16-player races. It kind of made it a little more, I'll say, like, authentic, like compared to like how a real race would look. But I guess it was the sort of thing where you can only have so many people go. But
yeah, it's so many people. Plus, you have to purchase the rigs, and then you have to have a large space in order to keep many rigs, and so you gotta save money because
you can never know before you pick. Like you go into a manufacturer and you're signing it like Win signed for Hyundai, I signed for Jag, and it's kind of like, okay, like I look at the regions and what teammates I have, and it looks like it should be okay, but then we have a change like the one we just had where we were given the opportunity to re-sign because of the Mazda announcement, which probably should have been announced like a few.
And then you wake up this morning, and then you see the news like, hey, Mazda is now official partner, yada, yada, yada. It's like, okay, like, at first glance, like, what, okay, that's kind of great, I guess. But then you read on further, and it says, oh, by the way, number one, there was I think that tweet from CAD saying, Mazda at some point, but that is kind of up in the air, number one. But one of the other things was obviously the fact that, now they're an official partner, they basically get one of the spots guaranteed no matter how they do. And so you already have Toyota, and now you have another manufacturer taking the spot. And the worst part is that it's not it's 12 manufacturers plus these two. No, it's just 12 total. And Mazda just takes another spot. And so now you go from, it's 12. No, it's not really. It's 10 because two are guaranteed spots. So it's
exactly.
Let's say hello to our 2 guests that just joined us. First up, Cooper. I'm glad you finally got in. I'm a dumbass and forgot to actually add you. But how you doing, Coop? Great. Yeah. Speaking of Mazda, though, right? I mean, out of anyone, in the room, you seemed like you really wanted Mazda, and it seemed like you were going to go that way, and then the news dropped, everyone got to pick again, and then Lloyd's went for Mazda. Don't blame you, yeah. Oh, Sorry, before you go on, I have to interrupt you. Sorry, but I think you need to share your voice. People can't hear it in the. Yeah. So he was just saying that I'm the best driver and that he thinks I will do really well with Citroen. For those that weren't listening.
Oh my god.
There we go.
So you should hear him in a second here. Just let us know in the chat if you can hear him. Oh, I can do it myself, but... Dang. But yeah, he said, you'll have to repeat it, but that was very heartfelt. Yeah, he pretty much said that he felt like it should be set in stone. Like, once you pick, that should be it. But he can elaborate.
Basically, once you pick a manufacturer, that should be a manufacturer for the whole season. I don't think you should be allowed to pick another or have another chance to pick another one. And it's frustrating because when you pick a manufacturer that you really like, and then you want to team up with people that really want you to be on their team, it kind of just feels like, it kind of feels like betrayal in a way.
I totally
I
agree.
feel betrayed by that. It's like, Storm I've been talking to ever since he first joined GT. I remember the first week he joined GT out, we were literally in the party with him, and literally Akagi, I've been watching him since the 2018 season, and he's one of the best drivers out there. I think he's the best driver in Asia. So
Yeah.
the fact that I couldn't team up with them is,
I mean, I feel like
it's
there
kind
should
of
be
annoying.
more. There should be more of if you stay with the manufacturer, I feel it should be even longer than the whole season. And if you've gone to old tour, you should be able to stay with the manufacturer if you choose, rather than someone taking it away.
Oh,
from
yeah,
you.
you get first dibs kind of thing.
Yeah, because you've proven that you're really good driver on that manufacturer.
I think that if you're willing to get a tattoo of any of the brands on your body, you shouldn't be no one can take your spot. Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's commitment.
I get the tiniest Citroen tattoo under my armpit. This counts, right? All right.
And what this basically means is not only did it just screw up the process of me qualifying for a world tour, which is gonna be really hard for me to do this season.
There's not gonna be one, though, so you're fine.
No, there won't be one, maybe, possibly. Yeah.
It's just in case, because you never know. Things could completely change, or I still want to be in that position just in case there is a world tour or not. But not only does this screw up the whole process of who qualifies and who's top 12 or not, it also just screws up the fact that so many other people pick manufacturers that are already set in stone, like Porsche, Lightning and Karakuma had already gone to Porsche, and then now they're at Subaru, so Porsche's wide open. And now what this means is that there's better cars, or better people in better cars, essentially. And it's gonna be really hard for a manufacturer for, say, Hyundai or Chevy or Mitsubishi to qualify, even though Mitsubishi really realistically can't qualify. But it's kind of it kind of just takes away from the ability to qualify for an event for those people who chose said manufacturers.
True. Yeah, it's all muddled up. It's a weird thing they dropped on us. But you all, since I have you here, you can help me pick a manufacturer. I'm on the page right now, and I'm going to sign with either Renault or Citroën.
Let's see. So you'll have with Citroën, you'll have pretty good. You have a good Group 3, but tire wear is going to be atrocious, but your fuel is going to be incredible. And the Group 4, you're kind of going to have a pretty average Group 4, apparently. That's what...
Well, it's going to be very good on fuel.
Yeah, but it's going to be very good on fuel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be pretty average in terms of normal Group 4 races. I think in normal Group 4 races when none of that really matters, you'll struggle to get the points, unfortunately. But with Renault, you have a pretty good Group 3, and I even drove it today, and I was even considering picking it because it was pretty decent to drive. And you obviously had the Megane Trophy, which is one of the best Group 4 cars. So you basically, with Renault, you get a good Group 3 and you get a good Group 4.
True.
It almost seems like one of those things where, like, if you're looking for more sustained results, probably Citroen. But it's hard. I haven't driven Citroen in a while, but the Renault kind of seems like one of those brands where there's going to be some combos where it's just crap, and there's going to be some where it's like really strong. So if you're looking for, I guess that can also depend on how long you're actually going to be, or how many rounds you can play, or
The thing is,
maybe
you don't
the
need to be
multipliers or whatnot.
consistent. You need to have really strong results for like 10 out of the 40. So I feel
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like every round like basically counts. It's like
I
only
mean, 10 is still a
rounds.
lot, though. That's the thing.
Well, it's only 25% though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
10
guess in
is
the
25%.
whole thing.
I
it's
mean,
not
I
that bad.
guess it does depend on your ultimate goal, on whether you are thinking more about just getting to the finals, in which case it's more about getting to 10 out of 40, or hoping that, Nürburgring, I believe the 24-hour race, I believe that actually got moved today,
Yeah,
or
That's
I believe.
moved to September.
so that, I mean, that pretty much guarantees that second tour is either going to be moved to that one, and then the third one's going to be the second, or they'll just cancel
Or
the second one altogether, which means that at the very earliest that they could just count the first 20 as,
yeah, count the first 20 for
That's
Nürburgring,
true.
and say if they do have a second World Tour, then they'll count Stage 3, Stage 4.
Right.
Yeah.
so if you want to just qualify for one, then you got to think about, okay, I need to I need to get to the 20, which is going to be problematic because you only have the schedule for the first 10 races, and so you're hoping that second half is going to keep you afloat if you get good scores on the first 10. But this is the thought that I had just before I got on here, because considering what PD did to us since the last time we were on, this has crossed my mind that we're going to go through this whole stage 1, and then the whole thing about the second tour is up in the air. So there is the possibility that PD's going to say, we decided we're not going to do World Tour at all, and because of this, we're basically going to negate that first stage completely. We're just going to treat it as an exhibition, and everyone gets to pick a new menu again. We'll just count the last 3 stages.
Right.
That is a possibility that I had thought of, that they could do that to us as well.
You can
More
allow us to
surprises.
choose manufacturers 3 times.
Basically.
No loyalty.
Hey, I'm loyal. Well, I was gonna say I'm loyal, but I actually did not sign for Nissan yesterday. I was gonna do that right after the stream, but I didn't do it, and then I got the news this morning. But I did just sign for Nissan about 20 minutes ago, so
Congrats.
now I am fully in
Congratulations.
with the GTR. Yay!
Nissan. But see, the thing with Citroen is you have Mata Boy. I'm not sure how good or not he was. Compete
Yeah,
up against.
Metaboy is like really improved, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you could
he's definitely he'll
Definitely.
beat me definitely.
And then
You can say that he's like driven OP cars, but I think he's like improved like massively, considering that like previously he had driven for Alpha and like he wasn't like as strong as he is now, but like now he's in Lamborghini and I think like he's found a sweet spot with that car. So
yeah. I'm not sure if he did necessarily go with a Citroen, but he's practicing in one of the training lobbies. So. And on the Renault side in North America, it's just I'm not sure what's happened this minute, but it should be Speedy Sloth and Hendricks again.
well, I saw Hendricks in he was in Renault, but he also tried out the Ford in our lobby as well. So
Right. Tough decision, but yeah. So why don't we go through and have everyone in the room kind of declare their manufacturers, and let's say hi to Tristan for being so kind and quiet in the background there. Sorry.
Hi guys.
Gran Turisbro.
Hello.
Hey. So let's start with you. What manufacturer? Well, have you picked yet?
I have not signed officially. Quick mic check. Am I coming in loud and clear?
Yes, you are.
10-4.
Excellent. Thank you. So I'm gonna decline to answer that question, though. Although it's gonna most likely be Porsche. I've not officially done anything. I am excited to share a metaphor, if that's okay, about Hizal and Lloyd's and Miyazono all signing for Porsche. It's like they were too radioactive, right? It was a large hadron collider.
Oh my God.
You had like cesium and gold and uranium all trying to combine into one new element, and there's no chance it was going to hold together for very long. I thought it was very funny how it just broke apart like the moment it was put together. That was very amusing to me.
Damn. That reminded me, like, I had an analogy for the whole stage thing. It was like, I feel like they're making us play poker. Like, you get, Texas Hold'em, you have, like, the 5 cards, and you flip the 1. I feel like this first stage is like, okay, like, I might have a good hand. I might have picked a good manufacturer. I don't know. And then, but we don't know what's going to be next, right? So, yeah. I just thought of that just because you mentioned that rather clever analogy there. I feel like... Yeah, we can't just pick our manufacturers just based on the first stage, but the first stage is definitely a good window as to, like, if you're on the fence, maybe, or if people are watching on the fence, it's a good idea to, like, it could be a deal tiebreaker, maybe, between two.
Is there anyone that you think is just going to watch the whole first stage and then choose the manufacturer of the second stage? Like, wait that long?
Essentially, if people do that, you've essentially missed out on, like, I mean, it's a smart idea, but you've missed out
on the world tour that might not happen. That's what you missed out on.
If you buy into my theory, then that might be the best way to do it, but you're kind of gambling a little bit. Now, definitely does not work in Nations, trying something like that, but there's no real point in doing it in Nations. For Manu, I would say... I'm trying to think of last season, because that was 20 races, and... Would something like that would have been feasible? No, I don't think so, because unless you were in a region in which you didn't have too many drivers, I think that's going to be the problem. Because even if you try to jump in later, you still have to beat. If let's say that hypothetical with Lloyd's, like he picked Mazda. So let's say there's like a secret alien that we don't know about that decides that he's going to jump in after stage 1 and then go against Lloyd's. Well, the problem is that Lloyd's already got points accrued, and so he's got to pretty much, beat Lloyd's multiple times in order to kind of, you have to get ahead of him in driver points. Because even if Mazda qualifies, then you obviously got to be the first in your region, and so. You don't want to give anyone a head start. Now, the one exception would be if that Manu doesn't really have anyone. Then,
so
then
it's like,
it might be a possibility. But yeah, it's something that I'd rather not do. Especially I could see the value of waiting like maybe 2 or 3 races, but I don't recall anyone trying that last season. I know that was something that I thought about, but I don't think anyone actually tried it.
Yeah, and Cooper or Darkrai, what is your pick?
I had to do an emergency pick basically, and just go with Subaru. I have no recent experience with the car at all. I think when I first drove it, I didn't really enjoy it. I found a little bit of confidence there with the Group 3. The Group 4, I'm not really too sure about. Or no, the Group 4 I'm not too sure about at all. I think it will be pretty decent. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like a rush pick, and I was really considering Corvette, and I was also considering Renault too. But the problem is that with Renault, the same thing may happen in Subaru, obviously, because you have obviously you have Lightning and Karakuma, but you also have Carbase or DJ Zeus from Oceania, and
Did he pick Subaru already?
Yeah, he picked Subaru.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty easy region to get very good points in. So it's gonna be, especially now in North America, it's gonna be really hard for me to like actually like get the points that I need to like go to a world tour. You know, it's gonna be hard to get that, you know, third spot and just try to beat car base basically. But you know, I don't. Again, I'm gonna have to like change my goals for the season just because, like, just off virtue and based off what's happened just today, like, you know, I may not even go to a world tour, but you know, I have to.
It can happen, man. Just keep your head up.
Yeah.
I think it can happen for sure if you got the
And
skill.
in fact, you know, the way I would see it is that I actually mentioned it yesterday that a possible strategy, if you don't really have a shot to be top 3, then you can just hitch a ride with one of the manus that's going to be top 12, but then they already have 3 top drivers, and so no one from the other regions, I don't see them really trying. But you know, there's always a possibility that one of those 3 can, you know, they can have a schedule conflict or whatever, and they can't make it, and that has happened a number of times before. And so you're putting yourself as a reserve. You're basically going to be a reserve driver, but obviously you want to be the first reserve driver. I know. Yeah. I think like Mikhail's got schooling and whatnot, so he might not even do all the tours.
You might not even make like the world tour, the first world tour. I know that, but the thing is that like last season, obviously with Toyota, you know, I struggled at the start, and then I got it back. I had a few decent results, and then it kind of just like fell off the radar as the season went on. And like I said this season that, you know, I have to like I want to guarantee a spot at the world tour. You know, I don't want to have to like. I don't want to have to like miss out or have someone else like miss out on the world tour so that I can go. I just want to like qualify myself, you know.
No, I get it. It's just, you know, considering everything that has, I mean, literally with everything just in power from just yesterday. I mean, to be able to guarantee yourself a spot, that's a tall order. Like even like for myself, you know, I picked Nissan, and I basically it's pretty much a white flag because I'm pretty much not going to qualify. Although I might be in a similar spot because Fire, my understanding, he did go back to Nissan, so that's going to be good for Nissan's points. And so I don't think I'm going to beat the other regions. But hey, I'm first, second reserve, possibly, and then you never know what happens. You know, that's not a bad spot to be in, considering trying to earn it via merit is just going to be incredibly difficult. I mean, it's only going to be like what 6 or 7. I would say 6 or 7 from our region that are going to get to go, and I can probably already name 2 or 3, even in this party chat right now, that will probably make it. Without too much difficulty. Well, I say that, but I'm sure they'll deny it. But you know, I'll be shocked if they don't make it through.
Cooper, have you been to World Tour before? I forget.
No, I haven't been to a World Tour yet.
But yeah, good luck with Subaru, man. I think we're all gonna be rooting for you there. It'd be great to see you at a World Tour, being teammates with Mikhail, and kind of just finally debuting on the World Tour stage. So definitely, nothing but good vibes heading toward you for the Subaru campaign. So who else is next? Deafsun. Why don't we talk about what your pick was and how you feel about it?
Well, I picked Jag, and I've been saying for the last few months I was going to pick it. I was waiting for the BOP change to happen, and the Group 4 car did lose the 2% power, but even with that, I still feel like it's pretty solid in the class. I feel like it's still an above average car, and I've been messaging with Howells a lot, knowing that he's basically been in Jag since the beginning of time, and I'll probably have a reliable South American teammate. It was just a question of the third driver, and it looks like Kenemo should be on board with us, but Now the other thing is the fact that nothing is a guarantee, right? So we have, it's great that we have like 3 pretty good drivers, but we also have a lot of competition in the fact that the Group 3, like both cars are very, very good, but it's one of those things, where we definitely need to have the race conditions at least somewhat in our favor in order to get some really good
Yeah.
big points. I know with Hells, especially racing people like Loyrod in the Porsche, Bonelli will be driving for Mercedes, and this Jar is going to be in Ford, I believe. Like, there's going to be a lot of competition, and it might come to the point where we're going to decide we're going to have to prioritize. So, like, we might get like a sort of okay score, and we might just have to accept it early on and just get some safe scores in and try to take some risks later on. But it's one of those teams that's kind of in that gray area. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to qualify now, especially now with the whole Mazda situation, like how it's basically caused a lot of people to disperse in the different manufacturers. But I think we're just going to have to give it 100% what we can and just hope it works out and not bin it, basically. And good things happen if you don't bin it. So we'll find out.
Definitely. I like that assessment. Yeah, Jaguar, you have some really knowledgeable teammates there with the car. Ken Amos has really established himself last season, and I got to know those guys pretty well because I was trying with Jaguar pretty hard last season. It was a really late decision for me to go with Jag. I was convinced by Hellfire, and it's a difficult car for me to really get all that I could from it, but I feel like it was a good learning experience, and the Group 4 is definitely fun, especially on the power tracks. I did have fun with it on at like Monza and such. So I think, yeah, there'll definitely be some frustrating races, and there'll be some
Oh, yeah.
super fun, rewarding ones as well. So it's just one of those cars.
I kind of thought with the Group 3 as well, like, I think a lot of us assumed as soon as they did the GR4 change that there would be a GR3 change, and I can't say it. I feel like I'm not the only one who's not a bit surprised that they haven't done one. And now that the season starts, it's one of those things where I'm almost wondering if they're going to do it mid-season, which I personally am against. Just I feel like once you pick and you kind of pick the car as it was, and that's the only knowledge you have. So for it to be changed after is definitely, it can be frustrating, but I guess if it gets improved, it can be good. But I don't know. Anything can happen. The cars can still change, I guess, in terms of the performance. We could very well see a BOP change for GR3 coming up. Maybe they're going to wait and see how the first stage goes. Maybe they're going to wait a couple stages. But at this point, I feel like it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility that they could adjust either it's the Jag Group 3 or any of the Group 3 cars they might play with later. So we'll see.
Yeah, every update's going to be a butt clincher, that's for sure. We're going to have to wait and see. We're at the mercy of Kazunori there, or whoever makes the decisions.
Yeah.
I keep imagining this like team of silhouetted drivers on the sim rigs, like in the basement below the basement of PD's offices, just running lap after lap. You know, those supposed test drivers that they have recruited. It's like, who's really doing this?
Yeah,
What are they testing?
they need to find new members quickly.
Whoever's assessing the BOP, I mean, just like they have so many drivers at their disposal. They have all the World Tour drivers they know are fast. It's like, why don't they just like give responsibility to them?
And they have top split drivers with easy that can easily like test out the cars. I don't know why they don't utilize them. You know.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things, you imagine them as the way you just mentioned in the basement. I always imagine them as like, like these scientists in these lab coats holding these beakers with like chemicals in them. Let's see. Oh, I know. Oh, let's nerf the Hyundai Group 3. That's a great idea. Like it's one of those things. Like I just think of it that way because sometimes the decisions make sense, and sometimes the BOP changes. You look at them and you wonder, like, okay, like. This car was increased, but this one wasn't, even though they were like previously really close rivals, like all sorts of things. So it would even be nice to even know a little more transparently, I guess, some of the changes, because there's definitely some changes that happened last year that were not related to the actual powered weight numbers. We know that based on a few world tours, and I know the top speeds of some of the cars changed at some point. Like they did some sort of, I don't know if you could call it like an aero update or like a tire update or something, but there's definitely more than just the power numbers sometimes. So that's one of the things it's always good to check up on too, like when we're testing the cars and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully doesn't really. I hope it's not a thing that tanks, a run of momentum. Like say some Manu's having a good run and then BOP just destroys their hopes. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Or it could do the reverse effect on a Manu and give them hope where there was none previously. So, yeah, that's just the name of Gran Turismo Sport and the FIA tournament these days, online at least. But, so, DJ, what did you go for?
That is actually a very interesting question, because I'd like to bring up 2 points before I even play my manufacturer choice. The first thing I'd like to point out is just discussing the whole possibility of being able to change manufacturers. Since the whole reason that this thing was brought up was because the new Mazda Group 3 is going to be brought into the game, at least that's from the reason from my attention. And so, from what I can understand, if someone chooses Mazda, and they later don't want to use the Atenza Group 3, they can eventually change to use the new Mazda Group 3. However, I just don't understand why that Mazda change has to allow for all manufacturers. It's like it's one little niche, and yet it's affecting everything. It just doesn't exactly understand just like the reason for that. It's like maybe within the coding, like they're not able to allow someone to change unless they just reset everything, because perhaps it's like they're only. But yeah, it's just a weird thing to me. It just didn't seem. I wish it was better explained in the notice. The second thing I'd like to mention is just within the manufacturers themselves. I mean, just at these world tours, you see 12 of them, and I just feel like it'd be just nice to see. I mean, there's 25 manufacturers in the game, and I feel like you've seen at the world tours that there's been multiple people. I think like test drivers and like reserve drivers for like for example, Mercedes. You've seen them like just talking about like how professional the teams are and stuff. And I just feel like the more people you could bring in from like manufacturers is to like understand the legitimacy of these tours and like how good the drivers are, even though it's only a simcade. I just feel like that would benefit everyone. I mean, bringing in more manufacturers. I mean, showcasing the ability of more manufacturers. I mean, I obviously understand that it costs a lot of money to bring all the drivers in, but perhaps like in the top 16, instead of having like the top 16 manufacturers or however they situate it, or they should just like try to have perhaps 16 manufacturers and like the top 2 drivers from each of them. And that way they can. I mean, I just feel like having more manufacturers is better, whether or not it's easy to do logistics for the World Tour events. But for me, I feel like it's most important since I know I'm not near like the top tier of drivers, so I'm basically looking for a spot which isn't gonna be taken over by like I'd say Mercedes and Porsche, like the OP cars, BMW in there as well, and now Mazda is definitely looking pretty strong, filled with a bunch of really strong competitors. So I feel I'm looking towards the same ones as you, Wardez. Citroën and Renault are near my top picks. I think I might even consider Chevy since I had done that in the Virtual Endurance Series hosted by Phoenix Fives throughout the season, so I'm definitely accustomed to how the car handles. But yeah, I'd say Citroën and Renault are probably my top 2, and I'll probably just be driving those in the next few days, and whichever one seems more comfortable I'll be choosing.
Yeah, because I haven't had as much chance to practice for this first round, so I am going to just skip it. But one thing I was concerned about, so maybe you guys know, is there a deadline? Does it automatically, because I'm already signed with Lexus from the preseason, is there a day where if I don't pick by it, it'll just automatically put me in Lexus?
No, there's no deadline, so...
Don't believe so, no.
You're basically released from your contract once this... You were released the moment that last season ended, and so you're basically a free agent.
Yeah, just because I remember skipping like an entire exhibition, and then when I tried to join the exhibition after that one, it was like I couldn't pick another Manu. It just took whichever one was already there. But yeah, I trust you guys. I'll just leave it because I haven't been able to dedicate much time to this one. So that leaves us with Windfire, Mr. Kevin.
Yes.
And you're going with Hyundai, huh?
Yeah, Hyundai, yes. It's... I don't know. I've always been with Hyundai since the very first official season. So, that's why pretty much the reason why I'm still here.
Hell yeah.
And... like, I know it's not a top-tier car. Close to a top-tier car, honestly. I don't know, I just like how it goes.
Yeah, it's all that matters, and it helps you. You know, if it's a car that you like driving, then you can pound it around a racetrack for a long time and extract the most out of it.
Yes. The Group 4 car is brilliant. Group 3 one, not so much.
Yeah, what's your best result in the Group 3 that you can remember?
Well, it was last preseason Interlagos.
Oh yeah, stuck in that
Yes.
draft pocket.
Got stuck in the draft the whole race.
Oh, I remember that
Alternate
race. Oh, boy.
strategy. And managed to beat Deafy by what?
Like 600s or something. Yeah, it was pretty insane.
Well,
I think we had like 2 races like that last season. It was pretty good.
36 points or 40?
It was a 34.5.
30 points.
Oh, of course.
It's so stupid, man. The fucking split points. I don't even know.
Oh, well, because there's no tiebreaker. What the hell?
Nope.
No.
I just shared the 36 and the 33 and just averaged out.
Yep. Ever since they like made the group scaled down to like only being in the hundreds now rather than thousands, there's just so many more ties because I guess they don't have that extra decimal
Don't
place,
have
so to
extra
say.
digits.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to hope for.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Cooper.
We'll have to hope for tie-breaking technology in the PS5, I guess. But
It's weird because it's like they started having forges just and they had to bring it back. It was like it was fine and then it isn't. Just weird how that works.
all right, so that covers the picks from all the guys in the rooms. What are you guys looking for as far as? Are you looking forward to this first round of Maggiore, or just like pretty basic?
I haven't done one lap of practice.
Oh god. Like, I know I have no chance, is what I know.
If I get Slipstream, I'll be fine, but
Nasubi?
realistically, I'm only going to find Slipstream in only a handful of slots, so I don't know how Lightning or Karakuma will do. I have to get up in the morning and see how they race, but yeah, I don't think our car is like really like in any way, shape, or form like competitive in a way, because it really this type of track favors like, you know, top speed. Cars like the Porsche 4GT, you know, cars like that will have like a good chance of winning. The Subaru is just not in their league like at all.
Right.
Watch Mikhail win tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what? If he can win in the Renault at Tokyo Expressway, he'll probably win here. You know. Like,
Well, yeah, I know. But although, see, the weird thing, because I mentioned it yesterday, the only time I actually won with the Group 3 Subaru was in, of all places, Maggiore. Now, grant you, it was reversed, but yeah, it's kind of weird because the tire wear was actually, at least for me, it was actually much better than everyone else's, and that was kind of the consistent theme that I had with the Group 3 car that season. But then again, the tire wears were really high. I do recall, I don't think they fixed it. The fuel is absolutely terrible. It's like, I think it's one of the worst cars on fuel. It's almost
I mean,
like Ford Mustang bad in Group 4.
here's the thing: like when I was doing the practice race with you know, Deafsun and McEwen, who's a Oceania driver, obviously. I actually shifted it halfway, and it wasn't even that bad. But granted, that's like if I get like Slipstream, you know.
Well,
like, if
that's
I
the
don't-
name of the game.
Yeah, Slipstream is like so important around that track. It's like, well, it's important around every track, but I feel as if that track, if you want to have a chance at the Subaru, like, you need to take advantage of that. So you need to hope that there's a car that's like not extremely fast, like the 4GT, but like a mid-range car, like a Lexus, or hell, it could even keep up with the Vet actually, in Slipstream. So, I mean, if I find one of those cars tomorrow, I'm definitely going to use it to my advantage.
I think that's pretty a universal thing with just about anyone, no matter which car you have.
Yeah.
You don't want to be left out running your own lap, like I said yesterday, because otherwise you're going to start P15. Like even if you're in the OP car, you know, you're not going to get a good lap in.
Well, they didn't
and,
fix the slipstream either, or adjust it whatsoever. So we're just gonna have to deal with it, at least in this first stage. Seems like. I guess the hotfix could come in before the stage ends, but I'm not very hopeful about that.
I think probably my position is similar to Cooper too. I think I got a pretty good car for this track. Although as soon as you start to factor in as you mentioned, stuff like the Porsche, the
Supra,
the Alpha to an extent, on race pace, not so much in quality pace, but at least with the tire wear, and the Supra, which I actually completely forgot about. It becomes a bit more apparent that some rounds you might just have to settle on a score that's not what you might want, but a score that's just a more safer kind of, okay, I'm going to bank this for now type of thing. So I think that's my position as well. If I get a 27 or a 30, I'll be pretty happy with that result on this round.
Nice. Good targets. What about you, Tristine?
Sorry, I've been busy drifting. What was the question?
You've been busy being drunk and drifting, you idle, you. What are you looking for? Are you practicing for the race tomorrow, or?
Oh, yes, most certainly.
Nice, yes. What car is it that you're using, huh? You sound like a Batman villain, by the way. I like it. It's a new style.
Oh, excellent.
You got the comic book villain laugh down.
I'm just messing around on comfort tires for fun.
You
guys' tire were really high, I gotta add.
Oh, you have a room open?
Pretty
Yeah,
brutal.
Oh, I'll join in a second. I'm running the French cars around Maggiore.
It's only a 2-lap race, but tires on 25x.
Oh shit!
I noticed.
Yeah, my tire's 25% gone. But in the lap 2. And this car won't turn too, so.
Yeah, I've never driven the Alpine Renault Group 3 bullshit car very much. Yeah, it's not too bad. It doesn't really feel like an MR in the annoying ways that MRs can kind of present themselves. So.
I don't know. Only problem I have with this horrifyingly slow in a straight line.
What car? With the Group 3
The
car?
RS01.
Oh, it's straight line speed?
It's
it is the slowest car in a straight line in the
Yeah,
class.
if it's not the slowest in the class, it's definitely bottom 3. I think the Atenza used to be the slowest when we measured this at Lasarth at one point. We kind of took all the cars to see what they would hit one day, and the Atenza used to be the slowest, but something's changed. This is kind of related to the whole thing about the changes where you don't always see them, because I don't think it got more power or anything. I think it was just related to one of the I guess you could call it physics changes or aero changes, and then suddenly that car wasn't the slowest anymore, and then now I think the Renault's the slowest. So
I wonder if it's because of low power or high drag or whatever they modeled it.
Maybe it just has too much downforce.
Yeah.
Because the Atenza's certainly not short on horsepower. I know that much.
Yeah, 600 buff horses. That's
Yeah.
I think that's the most. That's
It
the
is
most.
the most.
That
right
and
up there with the
GTR.
GTR. Just to put it in perspective. You know how fast the GTR is on the straight.
And both are bricks too. They kind of hit their acceleration and then they just boop, and that's it. Especially when you hit 6. More so in the Atenza.
So what's a good? What is the Renault good at then? Just twist your circuits, I guess.
Yes, very
Yeah.
twisty.
High speed quartering is the name of the game in that car.
So tracks like Suzuka, it'll be good. Tracks like Outlaw would actually be really good for that car.
Laguna second.
Yes, Laguna.
Yeah,
Laguna.
Laguna. I think
Seiko, yep.
you know what?
This
I think
one,
it's one
Major.
of the best cars at Laguna.
Oh, and Yamagiwa Miyabi, the one we're on right now.
Yeah. Well, it was struggling in the high speed sections, but through the middle sector, it'll be really, really good. I feel.
That's cool. I definitely like the way it looks more than the Citroen Group 3. The Group 4 Citroen I like, even though it's pretty similar shape, but I don't know what it is about that car.
I love how
It's
it
the
drives, I
Batmobile.
will say.
The Group 4.
Citroen, yeah, they're both Batmobiles.
Alright, though.
Hate the cockpit though. Hated it. Can't stand that shit.
Yeah, I can't even. I tried driving the car in cockpit mode. Like it was like I had to squint to see the road. Like that's how bad it was.
Yeah, dude.
It's like a
kinda
slit.
Prius or some shit. How long the dash is.
The Peugeot VGT Group 3 has the best cockpit in the game.
100%.
How about the BMW M3? That's not a bad cockpit. It's so bare, it's great.
You should see the Peugeots, it's even more bare.
Yeah, the Peugeots is like absolutely incredible, you know?
Yeah, it's so good, it's so bare, it's like it's not even there, it's crazy. I don't know why they decided for that car not to have a cockpit. I know it's kind of a random thing, but like, what the hell?
Yeah,
like,
no. Yeah, there's no side windows as well, which is no joke. Like, anyone's seen my races from last year? I literally put things on the side to imitate windows because what? It's kind of weird because once I put that in, once I put the fake windows in, it's like, you know what? This car doesn't look too bad when you squint. And it's like, oh, those are windows. Like it looks like almost like a normal car.
It goes too fast on the straights to need windows.
Yeah, that's true. Like I don't need to look on the side because nobody's gonna be by my side.
I'll always be by your side, Rich.
Yes, I was about to say that.
Oh, as long as it's within 6 feet. Oh,
yeah,
the distance
don't be too
is.
close. Yeah, hug
Social
at a distance.
distancing.
Yeah.
Wear your
Which
bubbles.
is funny because I was thinking about how with the penalty system and everything. We should apply the same principles to GT Sport with just how horrible the system is right now. How
Flatten the
temperamental it
penalty
is. Like,
system.
yeah,
Flatten the penalties.
Essentially, the penalties are the virus you get for not distancing.
yes,
A bit like that.
virtual distancing.
I like it.
Especially with the lag, because I think I have seen a few cases where you see it from two different perspectives. Like they didn't even touch, but just because of latency and everything, it's just
Yeah, that happened in the last race in Nerve GP. I remember Zenit, like, he went from moving down the inside, and I just, like, lagged into him, and, like, he had nowhere to go, and it just, like, sent my car off the road, you know?
And it's like the victim is penalized a lot, too.
It's every time.
It's like 80% of the time the victim is the one getting the penalty. Like, I ran into Wind on Catalunya last season because I brake late, and he got like a 4-second, I believe, and then the same with the kart race. It just happened. I think Lester gave Gears a bump rap who was leading, and then he received 4 seconds for it. So at this point, it's almost like it'd be better if it didn't exist. But I mean,
yeah, and people told me, like, why do I like the old penalty system where they didn't have any penalties given out? It's because, like, it ruins your race if you get hit off. Don't get me wrong, but, like, it won't ruin your race if you did something that was completely, like, rip.
I'll be back,
like,
don't worry.
If you completely didn't do anything wrong, like, you wouldn't, like, get a penalty for it. It's like you wouldn't be punished for, like, the exact thing that you didn't do, Like, if you bump someone off the road on accident because you had oversteered, they won't give you, like, a penalty for the penalty system where they just didn't have any penalties. But it's like so many people didn't, and I just, like, don't understand, like, why, to be honest. I guess it's because they didn't have, like, the actual penalties being given out or something like that.
The thing is, getting hit off in a race is going to ruin your race, but getting hit off in a race and you're getting a penalty is going to demotivate you from even playing the game. Because it's just like, well, when I get my race ruined, it's just like, yeah.
I think the fundamental problem is that it seems like I know when we went to the system where it basically didn't exist, it got so bad that even I was starting to get. I was at the point. I even said it on stream, and I do not take back what I said. I said, people want to just start hitting me off the road and just not being respectful to myself and to others. You know what? I'm just going to go out and just take care of business myself, and I shouldn't be doing that. I know it sounds wrong to do it, but I'm just fed up with these people that just do not respect other people.
Sometimes you just have to look out for yourself.
And
if you're just put in that situation.
It got to, like, you do this, I do that, and then even after the penalty system got to where it is now, people are there's still that type of thing going on. And so it's like it doesn't. It
It
seems that no matter what we do, it doesn't deter the fact that people just continue to drive the way they drive. And I think someone actually mentioned it somewhere, and it didn't dawn on me that this is happening. Is that there was a time in which, you have a race going on, and after the race, you get to see, did you gain SR, did you lose SR? Have you noticed that, like, it used to be a time when if a room was particularly dirty, it seemed like more than half the room got red S's, and they were down to A's or whatever. They were like down to 89 or 85 SR, and they were basically not. They had to get their SR back up to get, they're basically going to miss out in the next slot. So they have to do dailies or whatever to get their SR back up. But now it seems to be like that one race that Wardez was at, where everyone was just, that last lap was just one of the worst laps I've ever seen. And
check it out on my Twitter.
I have to check back on the video.
Red Bull
I don't
ring,
think
right?
anyone
Red Bull
got
ring.
one. I think everyone got a blue S on that race. Like, how is that even
Yeah.
possible?
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem. I think it's not penalizing SR enough in these
And
races.
Not
doesn't
just
make any
that, but
sense.
if you do get a red S, all it does is bring you down to 93, which is still top split. You're not even going to fall down to an A. So, yeah,
Well, on some instances, like, honestly, like, yeah, but some other instances I remember, like, some people just literally like tapping people and they're getting like a 4 or 5 second penalty for like nothing, and like they had like 82 SR. Like I remember, well, actually that's not a good example. Never mind, actually.
Well, I just meant in terms of changing the actual behavior in the game, because that's kind of the thing. You can put any system that you want in place, but if it doesn't affect how other people drive, then what's the point? It's like you get no penalty system, people just ram you. There's a penalty system, people ram you. It doesn't solve the fundamental problem that, hey, this guy is just being a total jackass. So either you need to make it so that if they want to be a jackass, then their SR goes down the tubes, and you're not going to see them again for quite a while. And obviously, still got to fix the issue of you getting penalties and you losing your SR as well. Or, like some people have mentioned, I know they tried it the one time. It was like, you got to turn on damage to heavy, because if it's got to be that severe, and I know that a lot of people is like, no, we want heavy damage because then you're going to get ran, you're going to get damaged. Well, I don't see what other deterrent is going to be out there other than the fact that, hey, there's a collision, there's an accident, both of you are out. It seems like that doesn't seem fair, but in real racing, that's what happens. There are accidents out there. Sometimes you're gonna get your race ruined by something out of control, but that's part of real racing.
Ain't that the truth?
I think the problem is that too many intentional rammers would be out there trying to, they'd go for an opportunistic wreck. Yeah, and they're just trying to probably avoid that, I guess.
It's like a compromise no matter how you
think
approach
of it this way. That's why. I can kind of get like, if you do daily races, maybe that's not what you do. But if you're gonna compete in FIA, you would think that the standard is going to be a lot higher than just doing your dailies.
Maybe the star player races can be damage heavy. Which race had damage heavy? That they experimented, right, with that?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago. They did it. They briefly had a time when they did heavy damage. Like, I don't know if it was like a one race or one season. I don't recall.
Half a season.
That's all we used to do in GT5 leagues. Was everything was heavy damage. As soon as you had a wreck in turn one, race is over.
Even in some leagues like IGTL, they still employ that heavy damage because, it's like it happens in road race. And I understand like there could be intentional rammers out there, but like at the end of the day, that's a people problem. That's something that the people like control. If someone intentionally rams you, that's not PD's fault. That's just the person's fault for giving you that damage.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's always going to be drivers out there. It's not just in, GT. I came from Project Cars, and I used to race online. There was so many dirty people online, and It got to a point
Forza.
Oh yeah, Super GT single-handedly ruined the Forza any sliver of reputation they had left was gone after those videos he made.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
Well, at least he finished 6th.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, ramming, it's a problem. I mean, everyone has standards. I mean, iRacing has it, a set of course, and name
They don't only have a penalty system, they have like a disqualification system. You go off too many times, you make contact too much, the race is over.
Oh yeah, no,
That's a bit extreme, but...
Right.
Yeah, I think I think also part of the problem, you have to realize that all these other games are more tailored. Well, not all of them are tailored to more serious competition, but it draws a certain audience. And I think GT Sport. I think the one of the great things about GT Sport is just how easy it is to someone to just come in and play casually, because it's these cars are not. I'm not going to say they're the most difficult car to drive. Well, some of them might be, but a lot of them are rather accessible to more people. But then
the
there's the downside to that
factor.
is that you're going to get a lot of people that don't really know how to. They might be able to drive a car on their own, but when you put them out with we're not time trialing. Time trialing and racing is two different. They're almost like two. You're kind of doing the same thing, but
different things.
It's almost two separate disciplines, like running a lap on your own and trying to run fast laps with traffic around you. It's a different experience.
Thing is with time trial is that it only has like a minimal, in a way, like impact on your actual race. Like I've even learned this from Wind. Even like he doesn't even do time trial, and I remember like the season that I did win Nations, which was like
congrats
exhibition season 2. Oh, thank you.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I got kind of lucky with the this point system, but I remember like I'm doing more race practice than me doing more time trial practice, because in a way you don't practice like time trial for a race. And you really shouldn't practice time trial for a race. And I see a whole ton of drivers like do that. It's like do you actually go into like a lobby and try it with the actual like FIA things? Because at the end of the day, there's some drivers that are literally the fastest, could be the fastest in the region in terms of time trial. When it gets to the race, they're like pretty much average. And I've had to cut back on my time trial just because of that. Now, obviously, I've done a few, time trials between the preseason and the official season, but I'm starting to tone down that, because it's not an influential factor to a race. It only just says it only just determines the pace of your car, essentially.
I'm gonna partially agree, only because with time trials, I think I've learned this, is that I used to avoid time trials altogether, just focus on the race, but then I realized that really hurt me when I needed to qualify, because in qualification, well, now it's not as much as before, but qualifying is just, especially with how short the races are, it is so critical to get a good starting spot.
Because if you're starting 20th, you have no chance of finishing top 3.
Yeah, in terms of, if you want to get menu points, you start P20, it's like race. You're just logging laps. You're just trying not to lose DR. But again, and so I find that time trial has helped me a little bit in terms of trying to, obviously time trial is like ideal conditions, no tire wear, minimal fuel. But there are a lot of little things you can pick up on time trial that you can't pick up in trying to use the FIA settings, especially with the fact that with the race settings it's kind of hard to do like a direct comparison of laps. It's one of the things that I do wish that there was a way to compare your laps in race conditions rather than just time trial conditions. But at least in time trial, you can see I do this in a corner. It's like, oh, I'm gaining more time doing this than doing something else. And obviously, you kind of have to convert that to, okay, now with fuel and tires, I might have to go not quite as fast, but at least I kind of have like a frame of reference in terms of qualification. So at least in that regard, I find value in in that. But obviously, racing is a different thing. So I always try to get in at least one practice race just so I can get a feel of what's going on. Now I'll add this final little aside point, but one of the things that does frustrate me, and I know that even the top guys, this will catch him out, is that even now you can't practice the start of the race in FIA. And when I say that, is that the
How
fact
spaced
that
out it is.
Yeah.
well, the spacing, number one, and number two, your tires are always much colder in FIA because you sit in the grid a lot longer.
Dude, I swear,
and I think it
will
catches
pray
even. Yeah, you get caught out on that turn one. Like you're used to braking in a practice session, and then you realize, oh my god, you have no grip whatsoever. You just slide off.
I will pray for your whole family if you get like 14th, P14 in Spa. I think it is. That's like the fuck you number, where you start right at the in the middle
Right,
of the last chicane. Yeah. Oh my god. There's a couple really bad starting positions in the rolling start. I think Nürburgring, like Nordschleife, has a really bad one too.
Nordschleife is actually like okay, but tracks like Maggiore, like especially in Maggiore Center, when you're starting off on the last corner to start a race, it's like really bad, I think.
Yeah, and there's no way to practice that. It's like, what are you gonna do? Be like, oh, I'm gonna practice this start in case I get 14th. And qualified.
Well, see, one of the things that I'm gonna try and start implementing into my game is actually practicing scenarios in race in race.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
Let's say if I start from 15th, what am I gonna do for 15th? Or what if I start mid pack, 9th? Or when am I gonna start where am I if I start ahead? What am I gonna do? I have to plan for each scenario, and I feel as if that even really helps your ability and your understanding of how the race is going, and then you can literally just think back to your practice and you be like, boom, you just I have to perform it.
Yeah, definitely. There's certain combinations in which you can outsmart your competition. Although I'll have to admit, I think that was a bigger factor before, but I think a lot of people have really learned how to pick up on strategies, and that's why they religiously watch some of the races that go on in other regions. And I guess for all of us in North America, I guess we have it's kind of like a good and a bad thing that we go last, because the good thing is that you get to see what everyone else doesn't see, how it works for them. The downside is that if you have a strategy that, I have this this really good strategy that no one knows about, well, then somebody uses it, and one of the others plays oh crap, everyone knows, and then everyone follows that same strat, and then
and it's I think it's everyone just follows the same strategy, and I wish I like how PD are adding the longer races. Don't get me wrong, but I wish there was more to strategy, because it almost feels as if some strategies are not viable at some points throughout the season. Realistically, for manufacturers round one, who the hell is gonna do a no stop?
Tristan,
a no stop, even if you're so good.
Me.
Oh, even if you're good on tires, even if you're good on hard tires and you have the race pace, there's no way in hell that's working. I think you lose 12 seconds, just staying out, and the pits you only lose about 8 seconds, 7 or 8 seconds.
5 seconds lost.
That's even worse. There's no point in you staying out, and especially since you're on the lower field, it obviously wouldn't have a big factor in determining other than catching you.
Right.
Yeah, I do wish, like you said, I do wish that there were more than just one strat. With how Nations played out, how you could have going with such an aggressive strategy to okay, let's pit really early and then basically use softs twice and then just go 100% flat out. It's kind of nice to have an option like that and actually work out. But the problem is you need to have the races to be long enough for those type of strategies to play out. Now, there has been a few cases where there has been multiple strategies that could work. I think for some reason, like I guess because well, the presumption's always been that PD does a lot of their testing in Interlagos, and so it seems to be like Interlagos like one of the few places where you can actually do multiple strategies, like with how I was debating between I forget what it was 2 and 3 stop with the GTR. Yeah, and so
the false start check, you guys, and slowest is the first.
Woo!
Anyway, gotta put all that power down.
But I think even with like Maggior, I would think I haven't done a lap yet, and so I don't really. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, but I always think I feel like it's it seems like obviously like a one stop. It's like I wonder if you could actually like do like a severe undercut, like run just enough laps to I don't know, do like a third and then do a really long second stint, and maybe that will work. Like if you can hold cars behind. I don't know. It's just trying to come up with a way to just find an edge somehow. And I don't know. Maybe some of these combos are going to be susceptible to, doing strategies that don't seem to be possible, and yet somebody's going to pull it off, and then, it's going to be a lot more fun. Which is, I think, I would hope that's. At least for me, that's gonna be the goal more than trying to qualify, because I kind of put myself in a spot in which I probably am not going to qualify anyways, and so it's more about just trying, maybe just try cookie things that nobody else even thinks about, and then hoping that it works out somehow.
I just feel that the seasons and the actual championships are getting harder every year. Like, if I actually like participated in 2018, which I was going to, but I had other things to do. I could have probably went to Vegas. I could have probably went to the regional finals, considering that there's more spots for nations.
Yeah, you had 30 spots. Like, granted, it was North and South America, but still.
There's still 30 people going, and compare that to now, you only have like 3 people going from North America, and you only have how many people?
South America.
3 from South America. Like, it's just not guaranteed that you're just gonna get a spot now. It's like you got to work extremely, extremely hard to like try to beat the very best. And for some people, it's like, are you gonna do it for like your enjoyment, or are you gonna do it for like your because you think you can go? And I think the top drivers, like let's say EMEA for example, I think 10 drivers or potentially, I think 10 drivers can go for from EMEA. I'm not sure if I'm right on that, but
it's 10.
Yeah, if you're like B Racer, or if you're like Storm or Susu or Lightning, you obviously want to take advantage of those spots because you can easily go. But let's say if you're someone that's like A plus and you're like at the bottom end of second split for nations in EMEA, I just don't think that you have a very, very good chance unless you could win like every single second split. And honestly, like that's kind of hard to do in a region like that that's filled with so many people. And obviously in other regions like Oceania, Asia, North America, and South America even, that's like really hard to do. You don't see people qualifying from second split in this region at all, unless it's manufacturers. But for nations, it's just too. I don't know why.
It's an exclusive party. Yeah, it's become a lot more exclusive to where.
I mean, no disrespect to who I'm about to talk about, but I just remember in the regional finals, it was like we had 30 drivers, and the rapid charges arguably took out some of the drivers that deserved to be there, and it just like D28 in particular. And he's not a bad driver in any way, but I just don't see like him making the world finals like with the competition that you have now, and just
yeah, it's just no way.
He's not as active. I'll give him that too, but
there's no way. He could be the fastest. He could be like a really, really fast driver. But like, look up who you're going against. 2018, you weren't going up against like, like all the OP people. But like, well, I mean, you were going up against OP people, but you weren't going up against like people that we have today. You know, there's a much broad like competition now.
Well, and just the fact alone that some of these guys have done, they have all these events under their belt. It's a real thing.
Yeah,
confidence
it's experience.
building. It builds. Yeah, it's experience and confidence. It's a huge part of it.
Yeah, and better yet, let's say this: what if some like driver from who usually plays Forza, gets on GT?
Right.
He's obviously gonna like compete and have like a chance to, go for like a world tour. And that's why I keep telling people, your spot isn't guaranteed. Like, your spot is basically, you're gonna have to fight for that as much as those drivers are gonna fight for as well. And no matter how hard you try, it's just like not gonna happen. So like, you have to like kind of make sure that your goals are like realistic for like the official season, because you can't sit there and say you want to qualify with Mitsubishi if you don't have the players to qualify with Mitsubishi, or you can't say you want to qualify for nations but you're in like third split EMEA. Like you're gonna have to like grind and put in the time and effort, and pretty much with everything essentially. But
I think Armin's saying in the chat that he can join now, so
Oh, cool. Thanks for
Maybe
letting me know.
Sweet.
no worries.
I got my eye on this little yellow Porsche. That I really
Eddie, did
like.
you choose this combo, or who came up with this? It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's
this is
freaking
really
awesome.
fun. I feel like a jerk
really
being in this
good.
modern car. I feel like a time traveler. I feel like, ooh. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Did I mention? I'm not sure if I mentioned this point yesterday, or if maybe I mentioned it somewhere else about how
Oh, shit.
the thing with motorsports and the problem with motorsports in general, like in real life, is just that there's just so much talent and yet so few
Damn.
rides, and it kind of I think with the Cooper, it's starting to feel the same way. It's like there's only so many spots for these events, and he's got quite a bit of talent, but he can't go just because there's already people that it's a lot of the same names every single year that get to go. Just the fact that I've been able to go to 4 or 5, it's just. I know I mentioned it to a few of the top guys, and they'll always rebuff me like, "No, like well, I'm talented. I should be able to compete all the time." But it's just kind of a sad situation to see that it's the same issue with real motorsports. Is that not everyone gets the opportunity to show what they're capable of just because they're
The amount of spots.
just because you're only like half a second off, and it that makes all the difference. Like you don't get your time to show what you're worth, and that's disappointing because
Armin!
Armin.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Stags?
I was hiding my excitement.
Armin
Took my
Aga
mic
Khan,
off.
a.k.a.
What's
Armenian.
If I just have one thing to add to that comment, or
The man, the
just
myth,
about
the legend, as Jara puts it.
a.k.a. the man from LA, a.k.a. Destroyer on the track. It is TRC_stag with 2 G's.
Ooh, I like that idea, Real. That's interesting.
Let's get ready to fight. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, I actually switched out of that car. Alright.
I don't have a livery. I have the big yellow one.
993. Oh. You
don't
want
know
to
if I
join this
have that.
road with us, Armin, and get some
You're just
road
driving
car
it, DJ.
racing?
Oh, sorry. I thought
Yeah.
it was the 93, not the 90. Sorry, I saw that.
I'm
My
in.
bad.
Sweet.
If I just want to add one thing to that, what Rich said, but just about the exclusivity. If there's one positive thing about esports, is that you really can't pay for your spot. Where you see in professional esports, it's like, or professional racing, It's like you have all those limited spots, and then you might not have the talent that makes it through, but instead someone that just pays to get a spot. So it's like at least we know that we have arguably the best drivers instead of the richest drivers. So that's something
a fair
that.
point.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't have that car. I have to buy it real quick. Oops.
But what
I'm
if?
not cool.
What if you don't have the time to invest?
Yeah, that is similar.
So isn't that kind of like equivalent to currency? Like if you can,
Yeah.
can you afford esports?
Yeah, believe me, I've had arguments with people about whether time is considered a form of currency. To me, it is. Anytime that you donate your time, that's a value to that individual. I know that I forget who that they made the comment about how. I think some had made that comment about all the time and effort into this game, and it's like, well, I had to put in sacrifices to do real life motorsports, and it kind of came off as a little bit condescending. I'm not sure anyone remembers who that was and what that comment was about.
Was it David
it might have
Perel?
been Perel. Yeah, it might have been
Oh,
Perel.
yeah.
That makes sense.
That made that comment,
David
and
Perel.
it didn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it didn't sit well with me just because we're still not. We put in all this time and effort, and we're still not getting paid.
I think it also
the only time you ever make money is if you're kind of like Super GT. You do this and you stream and you earn money by streaming. But even then, you need to have like his number of viewership to make some money. But otherwise it's kind of like. At what point, where do we start actually earning income? Because, like I said, back to the point about your time is worth money. Well, yeah, if you're spending time, putting in the time and effort to play this game, that time could have been spent searching for a job or actually doing some work that actually does pay money. So, when you think of it that way, then yeah, I mean, I could be out there. Like, I'm thankful. I don't need esports. I don't need esports to be a source of income for me. I do this because I enjoy it. But I know other people are trying to make this their supplementary income
all you need to happen,
at some point a main income. But it's just, I feel for them because it must be a struggle.
Well, what happens is as soon as you get your first free thing, through sponsorship, you're in. You got the bug bite. And you're gonna start being like,
asking for
at
more.
least it's not even so much about making it an income source, but it's trying to get your game on in a supplemental way, whereas you don't have to spend money on wheels anymore, or a chair, or a rig, or what have you. So that's the big draw, I think, at this stage for Gran Turismo players at Wide, because a lot of the
they've got a
players
free
they see them.
GT, right?
That's
like everyone that went to the finals.
Right, that's the first big one. But then other people are, getting these sponsorships by racing cockpit manufacturers. They get these free rigs. They post them on Twitter. Everyone's like, well, can I do that? And so on.
And then you also get the boots, which, and the gloves. That's like a form of, like, racing equipment, whether it's useful or not.
True.
I use my gloves in real life.
Really? In everyday gaming? Or?
No. I use the fireproof one for driving.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the Vegas ones,
yeah. That was actually very useful to me.
I drive with my bare hands.
Damn.
Bare hands.
Yeah.
That's your new PSN name.
The only time I've ever needed a racing gloves was when I had like a stick shift like for an actual race car, because those actually hurt a lot and like can give you blisters.
Yeah, I have blisters. I have blisters all across my thumbs now, and it's not wise. I did a race without gloves, but like I feel as if when I race with gloves, it just feels some sort of like uncomfortable. Because when I used to like race, I used to race with like my winter gloves. Like I had winter gloves that I would put on my hands, and I would like drive with it on the G29. It just didn't really feel like that good at all. So like I just decided, why don't I just race like barehanded, and I think it's helped me a little bit.
Well, I get calluses on my thumbs and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a wrap for my wheel that I can.
Ever.
I'm trying to figure out a sick sixth bar
Well,
wrap.
usually, like, yeah, what I've started to do is that I actually started to like prevent like all the blisters. I actually start putting like some um tape, like some hand tape, basically around
Yeah.
like my thumbs, and
So
just to
people are
prevent
like,
me from.
you're going out getting ready for a fight, bro, and you're like, nah, I'm gonna race virtually right now.
Yeah.
My hands hurt.
I know there's like the Supra Cup or whatever, what they're doing with Nations manufacturers on the Supra. I wish there was one with these, just a one make with the freaking 993s.
Oh, that would be awesome. I know Roadbeef would definitely be winning it.
Yeah.
It drives really good, actually.
I'm using cockpit view just because I'm enjoying it so much. I
Oh,
love all the counters.
I love
here.
looking back in the cockpit view because it's like just
Yeah,
bare
the whole-
metal, yellow painted. Ooh.
Oh, rip.
Rip.
Tristan left the party. He got angry when we started talking about. No, I'm just kidding. It'll make him happy.
Yeah,
What am I talking about? Yeah.
I was close, Steffi.
A little bit. Oh my god, oops. That's
Yeah,
this one.
I do hope that they, we mentioned it as a joke, but that would be awesome if they could start doing more specialty events, and you can actually qualify for live events, with different cars and whatnot. Because nothing else, just to give more opportunities to actually be out there and get to share your stuff.
No, what's
Especially-
going on?
Oh, the
I think
boom
room went
exploded.
boom.
Yeah, Timber left out of nowhere. I was like, what happened?
Because I know, like with the Super Cup, that if you're not, if you're just not good with racing cars, but you're really good in road cars, then that suits. I know that's how a few people got in. Otherwise they never would have got into any live events. But hey, they just happened to be good with that car, and so it's good for them. Good to see those people, for them to get to go to at least one event during the year. So it'd be nice
Because
to have
that's-
a lot more.
I would say those cars definitely require more finesse. So just precision with stuff, and everything happens like in slow motion.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't drive street cars in this game.
Yeah, that's something I want to get better at. But it's definitely. I like my race cars. I love that. Yeah.
DNA, it could be DC, Pelican, and Ridiculous on the team,
Mhm.
I'm like that. But that's the thing, like, can't do like 2 or like 3 or even 4 hour races, honestly. Like, I remember I did a few 4 hour races last year for like charity, and although I was consistent, I was like really tired at the end, and it was just like it was like a major like it basically put like it basically tested my mental health essentially. So yeah.
It would be
I
be
mean-
nice, like maybe once a month there's an endurance race, and then because I think it opens up the window to a whole different types of strategy, and like you can have the really fast guy, and then you can have the consistent guy, and like it's a different type of racing than just getting in there doing 25-minute sprint race and then getting out.
For sure.
And, your fuel strategy will be incredibly important. Tires will be way more important.
Well, I just love the fact of endurance racing that you can actually try to make up. Like, if you have something go wrong, you can actually make it up. You have time to, not like sprint race where you're just done.
Yeah, exactly. And it'd be cool to have like a little bit more like maybe I don't know if it will ever happen in this game, but like mechanical damage and like being able to or having to preserve brakes, engine, transmission, all these things. I think it would be a cool dynamic to the game, but it may be a little bit too hardcore for the Gran Turismo player.
And there should be an option. I mean, you already have the weak, you should have the heavy, you should have a simulation. I mean, I honestly would not be upset if like your engine like died mid-race. I mean, mechanical issues.
Yeah, like you know, we shouldn't go bouncing off the rev limiter or you know,
during
burning
the
fuel for qualifying, stuff like that.
I wish they fixed that.
Or just try and find substitute for
I
qualifying.
wish there was. You see, the thing is, I wish there was like solo qualifying. You know,
Yes.
like solo qualifying, like the one they have, obviously, like iRacing. Like, it will like literally fix all like the problems with like the fuel burden and like. I really feel as if like yeah. Obviously, they should have like the tire and the fuel on, but you know, have like you choose like how much fuel you have so that you can know how much you know to go out like before you do a lap, how much you need to do, or like how much you I can't speak right now, how much you how much you need to start with when you're starting the lap,
Right.
Want me to make a new lobby or is one?
He's Tristan's resetting and he's gonna be making one.
There it is.
Hey.
Hey, what's happening?
What's up?
The Cards fan. Hey, let's say hello to him.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream. How you doing?
That's fine.
Hi, Cards.
How's everybody doing?
Good, man.
Better
What?
now.
Well, better now.
After flushing my PS4 down the toilet, doing
Flush, flush, flush.
PS5 tomorrow, by the way. We do have to talk about that. They're gonna
What?
reveal it.
Really?
It's gonna be disappointing. Let me just brace you for impact.
It's probably gonna be expensive.
It's probably gonna be fat.
Expensive, fat, and disappointing, huh?
Sounds like my girlfriend.
Forward to it.
He took one
The
for the
most disappointing
team.
PlayStation ever.
I love it.
And don't
I
Suicide by
was gonna
words.
say story of my life, but
Even I didn't think of that, but that was so
Found out.
cringe.
Found the highlight of the stream right there.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh my god,
So-
that was beautiful.
what's disappointing about it?
Well, I just
Am I not supposed to know?
the standard for the internet is way too high, so no matter what comes out, it's gonna be disappointing.
Hmm.
But for me, I don't know.
Yeah, I can already see people, that want us to cook your food, to cure all your illnesses.
You mean we have to spend money to get this thing? Ugh.
Yes.
Won't give me a blowjob. Come on now.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, out of his mouth, yeah. Choice words from the beef.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, that's gonna be revealed tomorrow, and who knows if GT7 will release on the console within, launch kind of title window.
No.
Rich coming in with the truth.
Since when have they put out something on time?
But you know how it is. If it releases,
GT6 and GT6.
No, GT6 wasn't it delayed because
It was on time.
right?
Is it really?
That was probably GT5 maybe, because I remember
GT5,
GT5 was supposed to come out in like October, and I remember I was like set to buy the game, and they told me like it's delayed, so I had to wait till like Christmas to get it.
and then they made the prologue for it, right?
Yeah. Well, no,
Because
that
it
was
was delayed.
that was like years before. Like,
I think it was
I
like
don't
07, 08 when
Yeah,
GT5
Prologue
made the
was like-
prologues.
yeah, Prologue was like 07, I think, or 08, some around one of those
Yeah,
years.
That was late.
It was around those time frames.
Yeah, that game was just like so late. I even remember I was supposed to get that game by like mid 2007, and it just got delayed, and I had to get it for Christmas again. It's crazy.
But all right, Roadbeef, you want to make a room for us? We can get that Porsche love going.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Hell yeah! I was just checking out this room, spying on the competition.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Lloyd's. I don't want those problems, man. Okay, you can have good. Like he said it, like he's in the log and he's setting laps that I would usually do for qualifying. Like
He's
That's
South
Lloyd's for
Canadian.
you.
I mean, that's Lloyd's for
That's-
you. You know, when he puts the effort in to practice, then
he doesn't even need the practice. He's like Deafsun 2.0.
oh, I'm sure Deafsun would say no. He needs the practice time to.
No, he doesn't, because
I
he'll
do.
go. So,
I do.
No,
There
you
you go,
don't.
see?
No, you don't.
Oh my
No, he
god,
doesn't.
here we go.
No, he doesn't. Because like I remember that the last nations race for preseason, he did like 10 minutes of like actual proper practice of the race, and like he almost beat Lamb. Like
Certain
Granted,
combos,
some
man,
things
you just
happen.
fall into them. Like that last,
but
what was the Manu? I think it was the second to last Manu round where it was at Sardinia. His group.
Oh, the group 3, yeah.
three.
do the group 3 race.
Dude,
yeah,
I
that-
set my fastest time like within 20 minutes of running the combo, and then I never beat it really. And I tried pretty hard, so.
It depends,
I think
too.
you
Some of
usually
these
get
combos
your-
come up a lot, right? Like
Yeah.
you get if it's like this one, Major Group 3, you can't even count on your two hands how many times we've done it. So like every time it comes up, like I feel like it just it takes like either 2 or 3 laps or okay, like that feeling of like that it's familiar comes up. So maybe if it's a combo like that Sardinia B reverse, it's sort of like everything's sort of foreign where you're like, okay, I don't know any of the braking zones, and in that case you have to spend a while like actually practicing because you're starting from scratch rather than like coming into an environment that you're like already familiar with and just trying to get up to speed with like, okay, I just got to figure out my tires and like how much fuel I can use, etc. Right? Like,
And even for some combos where you think you don't know it, I mean, you might be surprised at how much muscle memory you might already have from a combo. Since, I mean, the game has been out for 3 years, so I mean, you might have done it a million times, like the first year that's been out, and it just hasn't been out for 2 years, this particular combo, but just for doing it that long time ago, you might actually remember it more than you think you do.
yeah, like it comes back to you pretty quickly, I find sometimes.
It's weird too because Monza, when it first released on GT Sport, I fell right into that one because I had run it so much in GT5 and other sims and stuff. So Monza's
Room is
always
up,
been
gentlemen.
pretty straightforward. Room is up.
Neat.
Time to get the Porsches.
It goes both ways too, though. Like, you were saying that just like how I got into that one race really quick. But on the conversely, like if you put me on Alcis, like you can make me do like 500 laps of Alcis, and I will. No, I'm
name of the
serious.
room.
I'm serious. Win can testify that like I can't go quick at that track. I just can't do it. Like there's just some tracks I just can't
remember
do.
that combo because like
Oh my
my
god! I put over 200 laps in,
Put
and I just
so
couldn't
much
figure it
time
out.
to that thing.
'Cause-
I
but
remember
it's,
Didn't even try.
he didn't even get like a 59.
Win just
I
showed up and
remember-
crapped all over it. I remember, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now?" Like, it's like it just
No,
shows
but
you like there's tracks. Some tracks work and some don't, right? Like with depending on how you play. Or
No, but I remember I went into like a later slot of menu, and like
this is the one Rich won in the Pug Group 4, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, that was that infamous race.
I just thought that was an important detail.
I remember I went into like the actual race and like because I remember that day like my internet went out and my basement flooded, so I literally like came upstairs and
Oh,
to
that's
my
not good.
room. I went into the actual FIA room having like 10 minutes of practice, and I managed to do like a 59.7 with the 86. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was like the first lap. That was
yeah. I didn't like you very much that day.
Yeah, practice is weird. Trying to get used to tracks is weird. It's never straightforward, and then sometimes it ends up just coming together for you, and you don't even really understand why. But you just go with it. You're like, all right.
I'm honestly still convinced I'd prefer Laguna Seca reverse over Sardinia B reverse. It's so disgusting, that last sector.
Pretty much any variation, any track in reverse is better than Sardinia B reverse. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it right now.
That downhill like left hand kink thing, that acute corner. I don't even know what to call it. It's just like the
Yeah.
way it treats the car. It seems so like abrupt, and I can't imagine you would get through there in like a real car without any consequences. Like it just feels like bonk, like the car just like feels like it bottoms out. It's like it feels like it's not meant to be driven that way.
It's not as bad as the jump that they used to have in Capering and GT5.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus
I
Christ.
literally just did some GT6 a few days ago.
I mean, I think there's some videos you can find online of people passing each other with a vertical pass, like jumping, like breaking their roof line, just kind of grinding against it and making a pass.
I just went back, like, I still have GT6 on my PS3, and I just did some Grand Valley Deep Forest, and it just reminded me how good of a track Grand Valley is. It's just like, we need...
If it's for Group 3.
I think the city circuits are underrated too. The Paris track, New York track, the Seattle track,
The
and
Paris
the
track
special
is
stage, like
And
the
Rome. Rome was also really nice.
Yeah.
Which one?
version? There's like 3 of them.
There's like different variations.
I like the
I
new
really
GT5.
like the one in GT5. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I like the one that was
badass.
shaped like a square.
That chicane in GT5 Rome was deadly.
What track are you talking about?
Rome City Circuit. in
Oh,
GT5.
I remember that track. I actually prefer the
I hated that
GT3
track.
circuit for some reason.
They were both very good.
No, one of the tracks that I really did like was the Hong Kong circuit on GT4.
Yeah, I love the vibe of that circuit.
Yeah, I drove that like
Nighttime,
2 months
neon.
ago, and I
I remember
forgot
that
how
one.
good that was.
That's the
Except
one
for
like
that
with the water.
one hairpin. I
Yeah.
hate that hairpin.
Yep.
I forget the one, but it's like Monaco, but it's even tighter, I guess you would say. It's not Macau, but it was like...
And some
Hong Kong.
actually no,
probably?
there's an area on the track. Actually, a couple areas on the track where it's just wide, and then it just narrows down as
Right.
you go.
So yeah, their city circuits aren't really city circuits in GT Sport. It's kind of sad. It's more like highway death ball. I don't enjoy 'em.
Chicanes of death.
Yeah.
That is a nation's round.
I mean, my logic is that if it costs a lot of money to just like get the licensing to get roll tracks, I don't
Right.
see why it's too difficult to just make another fictional one after the game.
You know what's a
Or
tight?
just bring back the old original tracks into the game, you know?
A really tight city circuit is Long Beach. Not that it's been in any GT game, but yeesh.
Or just bring in
Long
St. Petersburg.
Beach is like the basic city track.
It's really
St.
short.
Petersburg?
I liked it in Project Cars.
Actually, no, I think it's kind of short too.
It's way too short, I think.
Oh, hell yeah. Especially for Indy, that's just
I think you
ridiculous.
could get around there in, like a minute or two.
It's like Laguna Seca but in the street, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can do like 118 around there. and
There is that really
Group
wide
3.
part too in the middle.
Oh, and the fountain section.
That's like the first corner. But this is like maybe the turn 5, 6, 7 area. You exit and you can just use a ton of runoff. You just go across an entire like 6-lane street or something, or 4-lane.
Who are all these randoms training?
They're just, looking for some punishment.
If they're in the right, stay. If they're not, I'll boot them. Very simple. I have the best boots. People are saying it.
This guy's got the best join message. Under the water, please help.
That's hardcore quarantine right there.
Yeah.
He's deep sea diving quarantining.
Deep sea diving.
Yeah, but I gotta go to bed because I want to try and go to bed early tonight. I stayed up way too late last night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm gonna head off.
Alright, have good dreams about the Subaru.
Good night, Coop.
So yeah.
Alright, see y'all later.
Later,
Peace
Cooper.
out.
See ya.
Oh, I'm so glad he left. He was really starting to make me mad.
Damn.
Good thing he won't ever find out
Nah, I'm
that you
just
said
messing.
that.
Oh shit, the stream!
Oh no!
I was having such a good time. Forgot it was
no. No.
You really got you up because you're happy he got to bed on time. And you're
Taking care
responsible.
of He's taking care of himself. Sleep, very important. Let me just be a bit of a mom. Get 8 hours of sleep, at least 7. And yeah, life will be good.
God, the tire wear is so high on this.
Yeah. Tristan said it was good for us.
Gotta eat your Wheaties.
Mama always said she wanted me to drive on really. Mama always said life is like a high with a multiplier in the tire wear.
Mama.
Like a high multiplier in timer. Finish the sentence.
GTLs are high.
Who's actually excited about the race tomorrow?
Not me.
I'm not.
No.
So literally
No, not
nobody's
particularly.
looking forward to it.
It's a very like
And
weird start.
I had Maggior number 1, and number 2, I was normally I would have tomorrow and Thursday off, so the intention was I was just gonna practice in the morning, but then circumstances happened, and so I actually have to work tomorrow, so I basically lost all that practice time I was supposed to have, and with my neck, I made a joke about it yesterday. I have to set my wheel to Chuck E. Cheese settings. In other words, there's basically no resistance at all on the wheels, just so that I can actually drive, which is a bit of a problem when it's a GTR and the thing's a little bit tail happy. Because I
That's
basically
not
have
good.
I have basically no feedback whatsoever.
That's
so
not
did you
good.
did you intentionally turn it off, or did it just break?
Hmm?
Did you say you intentionally turned the force feedback off, or for some reason?
Yeah,
it's
I
not
have to
working?
be. Yeah, because of my issue. I got a neck issue, and
Uh-huh.
so I need to not put a lot of stress on my neck, which means
It like tenses up when you.
Yeah, and I have my wheel settings kind of like in a moderate setting, and so when I tried that yesterday, it was a little bit too much for me, and also I realized that all the downtime, I kind of lost a little bit of arm strength as well, and so it was just really hard to really do anything. So I'm actually starting a practice race right now, so this is my first time to see, if I can actually do a full race. So if I can actually make it through, then I should be good to go tomorrow. I'll probably not be very good, but
Hoping for the best.
it's Maggior. I got figured it's Maggior. No matter what I do, it's not going to be a good day. So it's just just to get reacquainted to FIA racing. Kind of the way I'm going to that's my perspective for tomorrow, anyways.
I mean, you got 40 rounds to prepare, so I mean, just treat the first few as like arm strength training.
Take it easy. One step at a time.
I need to pit. Uh-oh. Oopsie.
Oh, did I miss you, Rich? Or are you on a different server?
No, I'm in a different room.
Okay.
Knows that if I wait any longer, I'm not going to get a qualifying lap in. And I haven't even practiced qualifying. But that's why you practice, people, to actually get a figure, to feel out what you need to do.
Practice, and then if you don't practice the slipstream, though, yeah, having a tow
Yeah,
buddy.
I think right now it's more about just to make sure I can actually run an actual qualifying
Right.
lap.
Priority.
And then I'll just worry about qualifying, slipstream tomorrow, because, it's whatever.
Third gear is very long.
That's kind of the thing with slipstream qualifying is that you don't need to drop the perfect lap at all. You just need to stay in the slip, and you're gonna go faster than doing the lap on your own. And in fact, I might be in. Oh, I was gonna say I was in the perfect spot, but people are trying to play the game here.
On your left.
But yeah, this combo is not. I already hate Maggiorn, so it's just like I'm not really thinking too much about.
In my opinion, it feels like
trying to get
Monaco. It's not like you can pass there, of course, but it just seems so expected. You know what's going to happen.
I said it yesterday. I like Maggior better than reverse.
I don't like the reverse version.
Well,
I
get
feel
it
like if it was like championship limits on, then I would agree. So like without the cutting in the whichever sector the S's is, that's the only thing that kills it for me. Is just because it's like you wouldn't really be able to pass there because of it. I find, but if you had to obey the limits, it would be. I think it'd be a little more entertaining.
Ooh, somebody's letting out a storm of a fart there.
The rest of it is alright though.
I mean, the first two corners in the normal just feels like it does not flow. I mean, in reverse, it doesn't make sense. It feels.
You can figure it out. I find it's just that the whole like S sector is just all cutting. That's the only thing that I'm not a fan of. It's about like getting over it as much as you can without, I guess, getting all four wheels over the curve, which is, I don't know.
Not easy.
Yeah, like you feel like it's like you're really like, I guess, taking advantage of it. Like it wasn't really meant to be driven that way, so to say.
Damn it, Jaro! Why did you start behind me?
That's what Jara does.
He's in the Ford, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a surprise.
Sky is blue, Jara's in the Ford.
Ooh, you're eating all of the
Yeah, my lap is over.
garlic.
Yeah,
huh?
that's. I didn't need that.
I feel like the gear shift is so long, I don't ever go in second.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the corner.
Well, at least my neck is not bothering me right now. Like it's normal. It's just kind of weird to drive with the wheel the way it's set right now. It's just, I have just no feel. I'm just guessing on what I need to do.
I am under Dewada. Please help.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how
yeah.
funny it was spelled, but yeah. Must be a Houston thing that he forgot to take off.
Whoa, what happened to Lloyd's? He didn't. He's starting behind. I'm not last. It's Lloyd's that's last.
He's not gelling with the Mazda.
Let's try last the first challenge.
Ooh, the sparks are brighter in the dark.
Wait, are we still rolling?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Corner is so flat.
I'm just gonna let Lloyd's get past me. There's no point in holding him up.
Oh,
Not when
sorry.
I'm really rusty.
Sorry, Kevin.
Oh, I'm stuck.
What happened?
Me and Wardez had an incident.
Oh no.
I thought we were racing. It's just qualifying.
That last sector just got destroyed.
Ah, damn you, Deafsun.
I got a big fat toe down the straight, don't worry.
No. My
I
red
think
tires.
the whole, I ended up getting help from Timler there for sure.
Of course, a Brazilian has to come in with the wrong car.
How appropriate.
There's always
Oh my
gonna be
God.
that one person that just ruins everything for everyone. There's always gonna be that one person.
Yep. Remember, it's a
Yeah,
false
26
start.
seconds off the base.
What happened? How did you get 26 seconds?
I already lost
You
the
just like,
slip.
oh, the
Hooray.
incident. Okay.
Reverse grid.
Oh, 318. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's a good pull right there.
The farts continue.
I'm an N100 car.
Shift, goddammit.
I love being 2 seconds slower than everyone else.
Cold pizza tires.
Oh god.
Someone's having a great time over there.
Oh no. Okay,
Oh,
third
so
gear's not good there.
so low in the res. Yeah, I did the same thing.
Now I'm starting to think that Windfire deliberately set a slow lap.
You think?
Courtesy of me running me off road. Yeah, we're conspiring.
Ah! Oh my god, I just got like
What happened
sandwich. I became a stagger beef sandwich.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Tasty.
I think
I
I'll
wanna be-
pass.
I'll take that
I
on
wanna-
wheat.
I'll take a lamb beef sandwich.
Oh god.
I'll take that on King's Hawaiian.
Ooh, I don't like those.
What?
I don't like Hawaiian
How you
rolls.
not like King's Hawaiian?
Yeah,
That's the
bro,
best
they
bread
taste
in the
like
world.
shit, alright?
It's so soft.
I don't eat stuff because it's soft. It needs to taste good.
Oh god.
Oh, whoa.
Oh god.
Cards.
Oh god. Oh
Cards,
god.
no.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
I didn't push him, I swear. He was going off on his own.
Cards are dropped out Turismo.
You're off the Oh my god. That's never gonna get old. I think we're both a YOLO it right in here.
Attempt number
Familiar.
2.
Oh,
TTT
God.
dive.
Oh boy, I see an arrow coming closer pretty fast.
See, I learned.
Wow.
4-1.
Oh.
You guys
This
were
is not good.
6 wide.
Oh my
6
god.
wide.
6 wide. That's illegal. Oh, please don't hit that wall, damn it. I tried telling my car not to hit it and it still did, dude. Ooh. Damn.
Deafsun's already second place.
Damn.
There was a hole.
Oh god. Oh god.
Is there draft or boost on?
Kind of feels like.
I know, right?
Hit me with that. Ah, never mind.
Goodbye, Mr. SFR.
That was really clean. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Stay away, beast.
No. I want your
PX7.
livery and your memes.
Garbage day.
Garbage day.
Somebody's taking out the trash in the house next door. Just had to say it every time I hear trash cans going over rocks. That's what I think about.
Oh, what? Why isn't it stopping?
Man, this 2-lap race, I could go on forever.
Yeah.
Go away. Oh my god, I can't. Oh man. Just for the record, I don't remember where to rank. Like right now.
Oh, that's a corner cut. Whoopsie.
No, come back.
Windfire, you know what you need to do. Take out Deafsun now.
I can't get to him. He's running away.
There's one more braking zone left. All you have to do is leave out the braking.
Alright, this isn't a world tour.
Oh,
Let's relax.
Oh!
Sorry.
Sparks are flying.
Oh jeez. Oh.
Oh!
Oh no!
Oh crap! I almost hit him. Oh, he's ghosted.
I looked behind me because I was waiting. I'm like, okay, he's not gonna do it. It's a win. And then I look, and then he's like on the grass. I'm like, okay, he's actually gonna do it. Oh my god.
Good times.
What just happened there?
That was awesome.
Oh my god, that
We
was
went
great.
from first to last. Oh man.
Wind and I essentially switched spots. Oh my god, I like that.
broken.
I mean, I would hope so after that. Oh my god.
All right. Quick opinions. Same car, different track. Different car, different track. What do you think?
Same car, different track?
I think the car's fantastic.
Yeah, same car, different track.
Oh, we get a volt.
This is a democracy here.
Laguna.
I'm down.
Someone's gonna clip the red inside curb because
Very
there's
funny wind. Very funny.
Oh, come on, Bill. Don't be a quitter.
Oh dang, Esposito's DGT just died.
Who's what now?
Esposito?
Oh damn, that sucks.
What
I wonder
died?
if it was the
wheel?
wheel or the pedals. Because I've gone through like 2 or 3 sets of pedals with this thing.
Oh, there goes. Oh, my South American teammate just died then.
Oh damn, actually that's an issue, yeah. Damn. Isn't he your only teammate you were saying, or you have someone from actually
I have Stefanzi in Europe.
Oh my god.
That's about it.
Well, what about
Never
the
know.
legend, DeConzio?
Oh man.
I think he's abandoned us. The last I seen, he was driving Alpha.
Yeah, this Gabriel guy.
All right. Not going to wait too long. Everybody on track, please.
Yes, sir.
What is it? Oh yeah, better learn this quick.
I don't think you need to practice on this track.
Just need everyone past the first sector, and hopefully we won't glitch.
Problem is, instead of bouncing off walls, they're just gonna launch into the sand. That's the difference. I'm not against it.
Right here? I'm covering it.
Oh god. Yeah. I'm not following you again. Oh. Hello.
Oh.
recovered.
See, if
Sort
this
of.
was a nations combo, this would require practice instead of group
It
3.
was.
Whoops,
That was 2
surprise.
seasons ago.
Oh,
I thought it was an older
I'm just
card.
showing you how to properly do what you tried to do last week.
If it was the
Alright.
Turbo, the 1981 version, it would just be pure torch.
Oh, DJ.
It had to
Oh
be
my
done.
God. I looked, I'm like, okay, is he going to catch up? And then I just saw this car just approach from the 90 degree to my view. And I'm like, okay. This is, I think he's about to get wrecked pretty hard.
Laguna reverse. Let's go.
Oh, reverse, so we gotta make a Yui at the end of this pit lane. Kind of want to try that corkscrew going uphill, not gonna lie.
You actually got to turn around and drive in reverse gear the correct way.
Oh.
that.
I feel like I'd probably die in like this car specifically if I did that.
Do it in the tomahawk. You might get. You might go in his face. Just use it as a lift-off ramp.
The hell, DJ? Where are you going?
I'm just too curious. I have to find out what the corkscrew's like.
Oh, you're actually gonna do it? Oh god.
It just sounded like a good offer.
What he really wants is to start first.
Oh, wow.
Don't tell anyone.
Oh, there.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, where do I break?
Ooh.
Apparently, I could break later than that.
Am I ghosted? No.
Oops. Hey, I found the dirt. It's over here.
I'll wait for you guys. To
What?
get
You're
back.
not ghosted.
I know. I'll wait for you guys.
That's weird. You're stop facing the wrong way.
You know, not
I
kidding.
can't drive this.
Oh yeah. I don't see a ghost car. I see a solid car.
Where do I break? Nose. Further than that.
Oh god.
Corkscrew's not as fun as you'd expect. It's just stupid blind.
Oh, suck curve bad.
Terrifying.
That was terrifying.
Oh my god, DJ. Freaking freak.
Tristan sounds like the most chill scientist ever that discovered the virus. Yep, definitely gonna kill a lot of people. Alright.
Well, that's not gonna go well.
Humanity's at risk. Interesting.
We found your typecast.
Oh.
Stay on track, baby. Come on. Alright, cool.
Let's not go flying off into nether realms.
Oh
this
god.
time.
Turn.
Have I mentioned to you guys I hate Mantior?
I think I've heard
Wow,
that.
went to the nether realms again at turn 1 again. God damn it.
Oh, there's time left? Oops. I gave up.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, bro.
What's up?
Are we going off-roading?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm joining you.
The corner, like the long left-hander after the corkscrew, is so awesome in reverse. The other corners, not so much.
I'll get out of the way.
Man, I remember when racing was a real thing. God.
Can I make a suggestion for the next race? Or
Of
is it
course.
too early? Let's do Group 3 cars.
Someone had to do it.
You sacrifice yourself.
Group 3 at Laguna?
At this Italian thing track.
Oh, you mean like tomorrow's race?
Italian thing track.
It could be important, yeah. I'm gonna end the stream after this race, so make it a good one, boys. I want to see lots of crashes. Oh. Ooh.
You do or you don't?
On the camera car.
You have a camera car, you're gonna just follow all the wrecks.
And I'm camera car for Stagger. He's drifting right now.
Spinning out.
Ooh. Eat. Is that how they do it at the Porsche Driving Center?
Yeah, that's totally on purpose. I was showing you what not to do. Okay.
The fastest way to the right answer is to pose the wrong question, after all.
He's a mad scientist.
No, I just pull words out of my butt, you know. I'm like a word sandwich maker.
You're what?
Sandwich maker.
A word sandwich?
Yes.
Damn, nice time there.
Yeah, it's kind of fast.
Thanks.
This is depressing. I'm slower than James Bond USA. This is just so boring. No offense to James Bond.
Oh my god.
But this wheel setting is not working at all.
You gotta be careful, Rich. You might be watching the stream. The stream, not rather, sorry. Bond, Mr. Bond.
But then again, this is Maggiore and I hate it.
That track should not be on the... I don't know. I feel like the BOP just doesn't work with that track. That's just my opinion.
It's basically just an
Yeah. We were saying earlier that, like, the gap between, like, a decent car there and, like, the best cars, like the Supra and whatnot, is, like, really big compared to other tracks.
Yeah, like there's probably three to four cars that are gonna do really well, and everything.
And
else
then the
is
others
gonna
will all
be-
fight for, like, the 20 or whatever points are left,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's play nice, gentlemen.
Share toys. Oh, sorry.
Oh, don't use first gear, okay.
Maybe
Not
for my
use
next
first gear.
please.
I'm sorry.
Help!
I'm sorry.
Well, back to last place.
Oh god.
I'm taking the inside.
But again, the main purpose of the practice race is just so I can see if I can actually make the distance. I'm making the distance, it's just I'm terrible right now.
Are you going the distance?
Going for
He's
speed.
going for
Going for
speed.
speed!
Oh,
Except I don't have any
Sorry, Win.
speed.
Oh, tires are dirty.
Thank you.
You got it.
Oh god, I was punted. Yeah. Oh.
I was
My bad.
wondering if I was like, who is it gonna hit? Because I didn't have my radar on. I'm like,
I just wanted to give a little bit of a warning.
All right, you take the lead because I'm fucking
Oh my
slow.
god.
Oh shit.
Oh no. Mistakes were made.
Stay away, Beef.
I can't
Oh,
drive
win!
this car
Look at the
right
map. Jesus.
Oh, first gear was a bad
Tires didn't
choice.
clean up.
Easily. Beef, you want to pass?
You
Well,
can pull
sure.
a DJ.
If you're offering.
No.
Make it like this game. My friend played this game. What's the name of it again? It's the one where like half the cars go one way and half the cars go the other.
Oh,
Uh,
Forza?
No, not Roadbeef. No, I mean that's true, but oh my god,
It's unwritten
Crash
rule.
and Burn. It's called Crash and Burn.
Ah.
I think it's on the PS1 or
That sounds
PS2,
fun.
and it's like this kamikaze style racing they call it. And
I
basically,
forgot how long pit lane is at Laguna Seca.
it's it's so good.
How much time did I lose making that pit stop?
Roadbeef, is your car BOP'd?
Yes, but the
Home
paint
track.
isn't.
Home track advantage. Oh,
20 seconds.
No!
I hit the
Wow,
little
that's
red thing.
It's a lot of time
A
to
little
lose making pit stop. Why can't all tracks have pit lane that long?
Yeah, it would actually make some strategies work. Freaking Bathurst 3-second pit stops. It's just... Remember how upset Darkrai was after an SFR race? Like a 3-stop.
Aw, this race is only 2 laps.
Yeah, I should have made it longer, sorry.
I don't mind holding on
Say
to
it,
second.
say it, Wardez, say it.
It's just weird when he says it, and he's right behind me.
Alright, elaborate spins, here we go.
Oh, too late for me. Nice. I like that. Whoa. Your car went 540.
These are way more fun than FIA races.
Those tires,
nice
I think,
fun.
those comfort mediums are what make it so lively. It's so great.
Wow, that's really fun,
Yeah, I
guys.
definitely need to time trial this to not be terrible.
It was a fun get together, having a loose party chat and shooting the shit. I'm glad we could get some of our concerns addressed for the upcoming season. So I wish everybody in here luck. Everyone else can die. Only the people in this chat may they be fast. And
I already
true.
died at Major, so you can knock that off the list.
I already died several times, so.
Everybody else can go catch the coronavirus.
Yeah. Try over
No, we can't. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
But alright, so everyone in the stream watching and those listening in the future, thanks so much for taking part, and we'll do this again sometime. We'll connect back to see how things are going in this wild world of GT sport, especially this year. It's just going to change week to week a lot. So I hope you can ride it out in a healthy and safe manner. Take care of each other, and we'll see you again. Everyone say bye.
Alright, bye.
Adios.
Good night.
Adios, amigos.
Bye-bye.
Arrivederci.